Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the glass case of emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Yes, it is I, and it is Wednesday, and it's time for another Student of the Gun Radio. Thank you for joining me yet again. Congratulations on your excellent decision-making skills. So here we are on Wednesday, and something that we didn't even mention on Monday's show, and it wasn't an intentional slight, it was just that we had so much other stuff to talk about, is the fact that we did launch, we as a collective effort, Jared and Zachary and I, the Morning Mindset Podcast. Morning Mindset Podcast launched on Monday, January 15th. And we had to and we've mentioned this before, but it's worth mentioning again. When you do these things, when you submit new audio products to the various outlets, right? The iTunes and the Stitcher and the Podbay and the whatever it is that you're listening on. All those things.
Zune.
Yeah. If you're listening on Spotify
MySpace.
Or on what?
MySpace.
MySpace. If you're following us on MySpace, you
Napster. How far down the hole can we go?
How far down? If you're listening to us on AOL Instant Messenger,
Yeah.
If you're doing that, the fact is we launched Morning Mindset Podcast, and it's going to be every morning, Monday through Friday. And it'll be up and available when you're drinking your coffee in the morning and you're making your morning commute or however you're getting started. Now, if for some reason your favorite, and the reason I'm bringing this up right now, your favorite podcast listening app, if it has not populated on that yet, it's okay. It'll be all right. Go to morningmindsetpodcast.com. Okay? morningmindsetpodcast.com. You can do that with the internet.
You don't need to type www. or anything.
HTTP :
You're confusing people.
Just go to morningmindsetpodcast.com. So what's that?
I want to answer Zach's question. He asked how deep we could go, and I just want to let you know that I could go really deep.
All the way.
All the way.
Jared.
All the way.
Jared. Is
All
that
right.
a family-friendly?
We were digging a hole deep.
Introduction and welcome. Stop it. Okay. But yes, thank you very much. And also, if you've already listened, and today's Wednesday, so it's number 3. So if you have already listened, thank you very much. I do appreciate it, and I thank all of you guys who have shared it and left reviews and so forth. So, and all of you dedicated, I know there's a lot of you dedicated hardcore people that have been with us since the very beginning, and I do appreciate that. And one of the things that we're going to do through Morning Mindcast podcast, Morning Mindset, in 3, 2,
use your words.
Morning Mindset. I can do this professionally.
Let's go.
Yeah, I can do this professionally. Is we're going to reach out to a new audience. That's one of the reasons that we're doing it. That's why we put it in the self-help business category, so that we could reach people that we're not already reaching with Student of the Gun.
Indeed.
And that's important.
Broaden our horizons.
Exactly. Well, it's not so much my horizons, it's the horizons of other people.
Yeah, broaden their horizons.
That's right.
We are the sun broadening their horizon.
We are, something like that. But
I don't know how the phrase actually works.
Really?
Just what you said.
You're just talking and saying words into the black carpet microphone.
Exactly. Just what you said reminded me. I have a podcast I listen to, and one time one of the guys was just totally like word salading, where it's like, and they're just like, man, I talk for a living.
Did you say word salad?
Yeah, that's when you just start to think of it, like when you do that, like that's word salading.
Jared, did you know that there was such a thing called word salading?
Nope.
But you do now, and now we know.
You're welcome. Thank you, Pat.
And someone is right now running to their laptop to create a meme.
There's like one person's kid who might know where I got that from. And we'll see. We'll see. If you know where I got that from, tell us.
Hey, our listeners are hip, right? They're cool. They're hip. They're down with that.
I am too old for the podcast I listen to. I don't think. Was that, Jared?
I was going to say that we have old hip people and we have young hip people in our audience. So
I know Ethan's listening. Hey, Ethan, what's up, man?
Hi, Ethan. If you know where that's from, tell us.
Yeah, we have our demographic goes like literally from
not figuratively
junior high age all the way up into the 60s.
Not metaphorically.
That's not metaphorically, not hypothetically, but literally. All right, enough nonsense. It's time for a feature we do every week called Brownells Bullet Points. And this is essentially our guns and gear discussion segment of the week. So if you guys want to talk about hardware, you want to talk about things that go in, on, and around guns and blasters and all that, Brownells Bullet Points is where you want to go. All right, guns and gear this week. Let's talk about somebody, one of our grad program people, they found an article on the internet, and sometimes that's great. Sometimes you can find things on the internet that make you glad that there is a World Wide Web, and then many other times you are sad. You're saddened by the fact that there's a World Wide Web. But the topic was breaking in a new gun. How to break in a new gun. Do you need to break in a new gun? Now, when it comes to breaking in a new gun, there you go. Are we going to break it or are we going to break it?
We're going to break it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I was looking at the notes and it said BRAKING.
Yeah, I was looking at that too. I was like, no, not that kind of breaking. Not to stop, but to whatever.
Maybe we could wreck it like Ralph.
Wreck it.
I'm gonna wreck it.
When I was a youngin', when I was a young kid, and when I was a teenager, when I first started going to gun shops and hanging out, and I couldn't even buy anything. I could just look and touch and so forth and ask questions. And back then, the typical method of breaking in a new gun was this. You'd order a 1911 from Colt because that's where you ordered them.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, there were very few other 1911. There were a few, but not very many. You would buy a 1911 from Colt. It would come to the gun shop. You would open it up. You would look at it and you'd say, that's nice. Then you would box it back up and you would ship it to a Armand Swenson. Ooh, who knows who that is? Or Ed Brown or any number or Bill Wilson. You'd ship it to Arkansas to Bill Wilson. And they would take it and they would make it run. Because generally they didn't run. Or maybe you got a Detonics. I'm really going back now. And you're like, oh, it's bullcrap, man. I had one. And it's like, you had nothing. I was there. I lived it. And so what we had was a whole entire culture around hand lapping and polishing and filing and, all this stuff to break the gun in, make the gun work. All right. But that was 1984, 1978, even, into the late 80s. This is the year 2018. And I'm going to tell you how you should break in a new gun. Okay, let's say you purchased a new handgun. We'll keep it with handguns. Take it home, take it out of the box, find the manual that should have come with it. Got it? All right. If it's a brand new style of gun to you, now if it's your 14th Glock pistol, you pretty much don't need to read the manual to figure out how to take it apart, do you? No, you don't. But if this is the first time you've ever purchased that style of gun, for instance, maybe it's a TP9 SF Elite. You've never had a TP9 SF Elite. They come apart differently than the SAs or the SFs, right? Well, they do. Read the instructions. Disassemble the gun. It probably has some kind of grease on it from the factory. I can pretty much guarantee you that it has some kind of grease on it from the factory. And if you're hip and cool and you like that grease, if that grease is what you like, rock on. If you want to put something else on it, like for instance, we Froglube our guns. If you want to do that, take some solvent, squirt it down, wipe it down until it's dry, apply the Froglube, put it back together. Okay. You can do a mechanical reset. You can do that. You can check it. You can do a function check, a mechanical function check the trigger reset and all that stuff. Now, did you buy ammo? You did? How much did you buy? 50 rounds, 100 rounds, whatever. Take the ammunition that you've got. Now, if this is going to be a defensive gun, you want to use it to save your life someday, get whatever your favorite flavor of ammo is, whether it's gold dot or red dot or black dot, or I don't care what it is. Get that, take it to the range with you. Load up your magazines. Load them up all the way. That's right. Chamber around, point the gun down range, press the trigger. Then do it again. Then do it again. Keep on doing it. For the first magazine, do it for the second magazine. Now, if the gun stops working for whatever reason, you need to figure out, okay, was it the magazine or was it the ammo or was it the gun? If the gun stops working or won't feed while you're trying to load your favorite depleted uranium jacketed hollow point ammunition, then maybe it doesn't like that ammunition. Maybe it's not going to chamber it. If it's a 9mm and it's not chambering it, you got big problems because it should chamber everything. All right, if it's anything else, then it may be the gun, it may be the ammo. If you have problems with a magazine, if you have problems, look at the magazine, write a number 1, number 2, number 3, mark the magazine. And what do we know? If every time I put magazine number 2 in the gun, it stops running or we have stoppages, it's probably the magazine. When you're all done, if everything went great, let's say you took 100 rounds of practice ammo and 50 rounds or 25 rounds of your favorite killer ammo, you shot all of them. Now there's 125 pieces of empty brass around your feet at the indoor range. Sweep the brass up, pack your gun up, do whatever you need to do, load it, put it in a holster, I don't care, and move on about your business. Guess what you just did? You broke in your gun. When it comes to modern handguns, there's no reason why anyone in the audience should have to sit there with a modern manufacturer handgun. I'm talking TP9s, I'm talking Glocks, I'm talking Smith & Wesson M&Ps, I'm talking the HKs, I'm talking SIGs, I'm talking all these things. You should not have to sit at a bench and manually rack the slide 300 times. Okay? You should not have to take the barrel out and get sandpaper or before you plug in and turn on what are those tools called, Jared? A what? A Dremel tool?
Oh yeah, Dremel tool. Yeah. I think we have one, don't we?
Yes, we do.
We do have one.
Before you plug in and turn on the Dremel tool, stop yourself and call a friend and ask your friend, say, hey, I'm thinking of taking the Dremel tool to this gun. Do you think I should do it? You need a sponsor because he's probably going to tell you no. You know, Jaeger says, if you want if there's one thing in the world that should have a background check and a 5-day waiting period, and that's Dremel tools. Because once you start cutting on that thing, you can't put it back. So if you feel like in the year 2018 that you need to disassemble a gun, polish it, Dremel it, stop yourself. Okay. Unless you have a big plaque on your wall that says, I are a gunsmith, unless you got that big plaque on your wall that says, I went to the school and I are a gunsmith, set the Dremel tool down. All right. You shouldn't need to hand lap things. You should not need to polish things. Ladies and gentlemen, the manufacturing processes that are going on right now. Now, but Paul, you said that the parts need to work together. Yeah, I did. They'll smooth out, but they'll smooth out. You know how you get all those parts to smooth out and work together real smooth? Shoot the gun. I know, it's crazy, right? shoot the gun.
You sound like Hans Gruber there for a second. Shoot the glass. Shoot the gun.
Scheisse the glass, whatever. And he's like, I just told you, just shoot the damn glass. Anyway, so when it comes to breaking in a new gun, lubricate it, take ammunition, go to the range, shoot it. And if it's a Glock or if it's any kind of a polymer striker fired gun, eventually what will happen is all those components inside, they will work together. They will smooth out and they will break in and they will start working together. But if you're thinking that breaking in involves you taking the gun apart and using tools and, jeweler's cloths and polishing, stop. Am I saying that those things are never a good idea? They can be a good idea. But like I said, unless you have that thing hanging on your wall that says I are a gunsmith, you probably don't want to be taking Dremel tools to your gun. Just saying. Okay? Does that clear as mud for everybody? I hope so. Well, speaking of Froglube, some of you guys had a question out there about, right, Froglube has the Extreme COP. It comes in a little squirty bottle, right? And they have also, of course, they have their solvent, which is clear. You squirt it on there and you wipe it down and all that stuff. It's for cleaning guns. But they also have this thing called the Froglube paste. And a lot of you guys out there, it comes in a little cuppy thing. And a lot of you guys out there, you're like, well, how do you do the paste? This is how I would suggest doing the paste. With the Froglube paste, it obviously is thicker than the normal liquid stuff. And if it's cool or like a cool temperature, it's just going to goop on. You don't want it to just goop on. All right. What you want to do is this. And I know this is going to take some time for you guys, but if you have time on your hands, I'll tell you exactly what we did with the latest pistol that I did, the snow pistol, the one that's kind of a snowy white gray. And we went out to the range and I shot it in the snow and all this. This is what I did with that gun. I disassembled it. I disassembled the bolt and bolt carrier. I took my wife's hairdryer. I put on a pair of gloves and I heated up the metal. Now, it's not going to get super hot. I mean, it's not going to turn red or melt or anything, but it heats the metal, right? Got the metal nice and hot, or as hot as you can get it by holding a hairdryer directly to it. You know what I'm saying? Then I took the paste and I put it, of course, before I did all this, I made sure that the steel was clean, that there wasn't any previous oil or anything on it. Heated it up, put the paste on it. The paste, well, obviously, if you put this Froglube paste onto hot metal, what's it going to do? It's going to melt, right? It's going to melt, and think of it like this. I know a lot of you guys are youngins, and you don't know what the heck a cast iron skillet is. And when I say seasoning a cast iron skillet, you glaze over and you're like, what does that? You mean like put pepper on it? No. What you're doing is you're allowing the lubrication to get into the pores of the steel. It's actually getting into the steel. Like, steel is hard. You can't get stuff into steel. I know. You went to public school, but listen to me anyway. Well, my point is this. If you're going to use the paste, that is a one of the recommended ways to do it. The hairdryer thing is super simple. I've actually heard people said, I turn the oven on at 200 degrees. I put the parts on a baking sheet. I stick it in there. If my wife walked into the kitchen and opened up the stove and there were gun parts on one of her baking sheets in the oven, she would say not nice things to me. Okay, so I just take her hairdryer, go out in the garage, and I heat the parts up and I put the stuff on. I put it back together. Then I go to the range and I shoot. And even though it was cold, it still ran and I had no problems. Now, you can do whatever you want. I don't care. But I wanted to address that because people are like, well, I understand the liquid, the extreme liquid, but I don't get the paste. I don't get how that works and why you would do it and how you would do it. So, okay, there you go. Century Arms is the sweetest smelling arms maker in the US of A. They're going to have a brand new pistol that they're going to be releasing at the Shooting, Hunting, and Outdoor Trade Show. And if you'd like to know more, go to centuryarms.com. It's pretty simple. DuraCoat, because life is too short to have an ugly gun. And if you would like to not have an ugly gun, go to lauerweaponry.com and shop around to your heart's content. SWAT Fuel, it does a body good. No, SWAT Fuel, because they want you to have a stronger body and a sharper mind for the new year. And how can you do that? It's really hard. You go to SWATfuelstore.com, and while you're there, picking up whatever it is you want to pick up, the SWAT box, the red, SWAT box red, SWAT box blue, 40 caliber vitamins, whatever, use the promo code SOTG2015. You're going to save yourself some money. It's a good thing. All right. I've got a note here to remind you guys that Fighting Fitness has been moved to Thursday's bonus hour. So if you want to get all the goodness that is Fighting Fitness, well, you have to listen to the bonus hour on Thursday. That's just the way it goes. If you'd like to get more fit and you say, okay, you've convinced me. I turned into a marshmallow over the last few years. I'm soft. I'm pudgy. I went into a soft phase. But I don't want to be in my soft phase anymore. I want to be hard. Cool. Go to studentofthegun.com/SSOC. That stands for Starting Strength Online Training. And if you decide to sign up, use the promo code SOTG.
SSOC is actually Starting Strength Online Coaching.
Right. That's what I said.
No, you said online training.
Yeah, he said online training.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Silly.
Okay. SSOC.
See, I wasn't aware that that training started with a C.
Can you see this? Can you see this in the Skype camera?
I'm actually looking at my show notes right now. So.
Yeah, okay, well, because I've got one of these for you. So there you go, folks. All right, moving on from there. Now it's time for the Student of the Gun Homeroom, brought to you by our good friends at Crossbreed Holsters. Madison Rising, and that is a song called Dangerous. And that is the theme for the Crossbreed Holsters Student of the Gun Homeroom, is being dangerous on demand. How can you be dangerous on demand? Well, one of the ways you can be dangerous on demand is to put a holster on your body and put a gun in it and leave it there and just go on with your life. But there are times when, let's say, you're at home and you're in your sweatpants or your lounge pants or whatever, and you're not wearing a gun. Okay, I get that. You get that. We all get that, right? Well, we do. We've got a story here that kind of goes into the how can I be dangerous on demand, or should I? And this story actually just broke on 1/12/2018, so just last Friday. From local21news.com, bear attacks man who let his dog out for a walk. What? What the farfignugan is this? I thought all the bears were hibernating. It's cold outside. Aren't the bears hibernating? Oh, crap. There are places in the country where there are bears where apparently it's warm enough that they don't have to hibernate. Let's dig into this story here. Dateline, Naples, Florida, which would be why the bear's not hibernating, because it's not cold in Naples, Florida. It might be chilly, but I don't believe that there are any mountain caves for Yogi and Boo Boo to go in and sleep for 3 or 4 months. A man said he was letting his dog outside in Florida when a large bear attacked him. Andrew M-E-U-N-I, would you say Munir? Andrew M. tells news outlets that he let his dog out of his home about 11 p.m. Tuesday and spotted a 4-foot. The news report says 4 foot, in parentheses, 1 meter. Is 1 meter actually 4 feet, Jared? I don't think it is, but
I thought a meter was like 3.6 feet.
Yeah, okay. Or is it 3.6 or 3.3?
I'm going to look it up right now.
Bear standing next to him when he stepped outside. He told Collier County Sheriff that the dog ran back inside. The man, Mr. M, said he struggled to get away and managed to get back through his front door. What?
3 feet 3 inches. Also, a 3 foot 3 inch bear? That's a little guy.
Well, see, that's the thing.
Still a bear, but.
Well, yeah, check this out, though. It says a 911 call revealed that Mr. M suffered minor facial lacerations from the bear attack. Okay, it says minor facial lacerations. He sought treatment at a hospital and received. All right, now if I said to you, someone had a minor injury and they had to get stitches, what would you think? How many stitches? Minor injury.
10 or
How many
less.
3.
Three, right?
Yeah.
All right, Jared, when you
Front, middle,
decided to catch a rock with your head, you got 3 stitches in your skull, right? I would say that's a minor injury, right?
He caught it at least.
Yeah. 41 stitches. I'm not trying to belittle this, but when you get 41 stitches in you, that's not a minor injury.
That's actually
That's a lot of freaking stitches.
Yeah.
Unless
they were using like actual thread.
Yeah, I've been stitched in my life. I've never gotten 41 stitches.
At the same time.
Yeah. All right, Jared, when you had your eye stitched shut or your eyebrow stitched, was it like 3, 2, 3?
No, it was like 8.
Really? Was that many?
Yeah.
In your eyebrow?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that many.
It was.
That's why we switched to super glue.
Yeah.
But anyway, he says, I'm just happy to be alive, said Mr. M. It could have been a totally different story. Like, what in the farfignugan? Okay, yeah, this guy, there's a picture of this guy in the news story. I'm not sure who's writing news stories for Channel 21 here, but this guy has a cut from his scalp all the way down his face to his ear. He looks like Frankenstein's monster, all right? I mean, bless his heart and all that, but it's just a scratch. It's a minor injury. Like, you only got 41 stitches. How many stitches you want to get? So my question to you guys is this. Where do you live? This guy lives in a neighborhood.
Wyoming.
He doesn't live in the back country of the Adirondacks. He doesn't live in Saskatoon where there's grizzlies and stuff. This dude lives in a city. How many of you are able to be dangerous on demand at 11 o'clock at night when you're putting your puppy out to go pee-pee for the last time of the day, right? How many? How many of you, if you don't have a gun on you, have one close by? Dude, I'm looking at this guy's picture. He's lucky that thing didn't peel his freaking face off like Hannibal. What the farfignugan? So, yeah. This is a story for you guys. You know, we've had wild animal attacks human stories in the past, but let's be realistic. A lot of folks, when they go home, I get home, I was out amongst all the people, and I know it can be dangerous being out amongst people, but now I'm home and I put the guns away, I lock them in the safe, and I do what all responsible people do. What if it was like this guy's wife lets the dog out. He's inside watching, late night with Jimmy Kimmel or something like that. And he hears her screaming and he runs towards her screaming and he comes out and there's a bear on her like, rah, 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 I'm going to eat you. Where is your gat, man? Is it locked in a finger safe upstairs in the second floor bedroom? You tell me. How is it that you're going to be dangerous on demand even when you're in your sleep pants? I don't know. I think that's a good topic. I think it's a good, and
I think it's fair, safe, fair, whatever I'm trying to say, to say that in addition to the gat that you might put in a safe or whatever, you should also have some kind of long thing, shotgun, rifle, gun somewhere in your house
where you can put your hands on it.
Yeah.
I have kids. You don't understand. Where I live,
smack them and tell them not to touch it.
Where I live, you have to have all your guns locked up all the time.
Then you shouldn't live there.
It's against the law to have a gun not in a safe.
Then you shouldn't live there.
Oh, I don't know. You guys,
or I don't know, like put it on like a wall mount or something.
Live your lives like you want to, but and I'm not really dinging this guy. I mean, dude, he walks outside and he's like, "Oh crap, there's a bear!" Rawr. But what would you have done? Would you be one of the people that's like, oh my, and it could have been like easily reversed. Remember the bear attack where the guy goes out with this, seems to be a trend. People letting their dogs out. Guy goes out with his dog. Dog's barking, and there's a bear, and he's like, "Shoo, bear, go away!" And the bear's like, "Rawr."
Bears like dogs.
The bear's like eating the back of his head off, and his wife comes running to the rescue with a shotgun that
I remember that story.
she didn't know how to load. So she takes the shotgun and she's smacking the bear with the shotgun. Yeah. Teach your wives how to load a gun. Okay. Or better yet, have a gun that already has bullets in it. What? That's crazy talk. I'm not paranoid like you.
I was about to say that.
I don't keep guns with bullets in them in my house. That's just what crazy people do. Okay, whatever. But yeah, interesting for our weekly homeroom. I thought, well, usually we talk about concealed carry and stuff, but how do we be dangerous on demand all the time? Your responsibility and all that good stuff. All right, Alex, what should they do?
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
All right. Did you know that Drowning Pool did a song called 37 Stitches? And this guy got 41.
I actually did know that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that song in like years, though.
37. It's a good song. We should drop it into the motivational music tomorrow. How's that sound?
Sounds like a great idea.
All right. We are going to travel up to the glorious People's Republic of Illinois.
Bobby Roode?
Yeah, the glorious People's Republic of Illinois, where they have lots of laws, and therefore, because they have many, many, many laws and restrictions and forms of taxation, what that does is that keeps the people safe and happy. Or does it?
I like to teach you all the rules. I get to see them set in stone. I like it when you chain me to the bed, but then you see me.
All right, that is Puddle of Mud in our Slave State Update Music Control. Because that's what slave states are all about. They're all about controlling what you say, what you do, what you can own, what you can eat. Every aspect of your life is in control of the state because you are a blithering idiot and have no idea how to take care of yourself. But fear not. Your slave masters at the state capitol, they know what's best for you. Breitbart.com. And this story is from, what is the date? I love Breitbart.com because they actually put the dates. They don't just say, 2 days ago. When I went to journalism school, they told me when I wrote an article to write 2 days ago. No, when you go to journalism school, you date the article. It drives me absolutely bonkers when we pull up an article and it says, 3 days ago. Really? 3 days ago? 2 days ago this happened. How about you don't be lazy and put a date on the story? But our good buddy, our favorite pirate. Hey, do you suppose is going to be at the Shooting, Hunting, and Outdoor Trade Show? You know who would know, Jared? Walters would know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Walters is on a first-name basis with the R. But A.W.R. Hawkins, and the story is from 12 January 2018. Thank you, Breitbart, for actually dating your stories. Illinois Attorney General candidate Aaron Goldstein, Democrat, was robbed at gunpoint. That would be an aggravated robbery where you threaten to kill someone if they don't give you their stuff. In broad daylight, not regular daylight. You know what's cool? I'm not dinging him, but that's exactly the at gunpoint and broad daylight are so cliche. It's like that comedian said, he goes, if people keep getting robbed at gunpoint, why do they keep going there? I know. In broad daylight, not regular daylight, during a campaign stop in Muncie?
Chicago
on Thursday.
I'm almost thinking we're going to need a Chicago update theme soon.
Oh, man. Well, we've needed it for a long time, but we've just been doing the slave state thing.
Close enough, yeah. But they almost deserve their own special one.
Yeah, that's right. 4 individuals. Now, if there were 4 individuals and they were all together, would that not be a group? Okay. 4 individuals with Goldstein were also robbed. So you got Aaron Goldstein, Democrat, candidate for Illinois Attorney General, and 4 other people who were with him. So you got a total of 5 adult human beings, and not a one of them could do anything about it. According to the Chicago Tribune, there were a total of 3 robbery suspects. Those included the gunman and 2 accomplices, all between the ages of 20 and 24 years old. How do you know the one guy wasn't actually 26, but he looked young? Or how do they know that one guy wasn't actually 19, but he looked older? It says they're suspects. Are they in custody? Goldstein was taking part in a photo shoot in Albany Park. The shoot was intended to capture him and the essence of the neighborhood. Hey, guys, we got to do a photo op. Let's go into the hood and take pictures in the hood so that we can show everyone that we're down with the plight of the inner city man. So while they were trying to get the essence of the neighborhood, some of the locals came out and, well, introduced them to the essence of the neighborhood.
I bet they got a real good feeling about that essence.
Campaign manager Robert Murphy said the campaign stop was part of a in the neighborhood kind of theme. The robbery suspects got away with cameras and cell phones, and Goldstein's crew was shaken up but not harmed. Ironically, as if this whole story hasn't been ironic to this point, ironically, Chicago has long been an unsuccessful experiment for gun control. Yes, it has. The city had a complete ban on handgun ownership from 1982 to 2010. This means that criminals had handguns for purposes of robbery, assault, murder, and so forth, while people did not. Now, the homicide numbers, annual totals of homicides were 922 in 1991. 940 in 92, 930 in 94, etc. All right, so let's go from there. Jared has who is Aaron Goldstein? Now, we know that he's a Democrat, and he's running for the Illinois Attorney General seat. Here we go. We got a story from Chicago Tribune. Aaron Goldstein's campaign for Illinois Attorney General goes into high gear with bold progressive agenda. Now, when somebody has a progressive agenda, is that generally a good thing for liberty and freedom and the people of the United States? When a politician has a progressive agenda, is that good for the freedom-loving people of their district? And what is the Attorney General supposed to do? Is the Attorney General supposed to make law or what? I don't think the Attorney General is. Well, let's dig in. What is Aaron Goldstein all about? Well, according to the Trib, and this story was just published on January 8th, so only 4 days before he got stuck up. Attorney Aaron Goldstein's bid to become the next Attorney General is now in high gear with a bold, progressive, democratic agenda that will benefit the citizens of Illinois, while putting an end to the unfettered political power of big corporations, big money, and the political establishment in both parties. So how is a progressive Democrat going to put an end to the political establishments in both parties? Let's go ahead and dive in. I am the most experienced courtroom and trial lawyer of all candidates. Trial lawyers, that would be tort lawyers, said Goldstein, who has built a formidable reputation as a progressive Cook County public defender and defense attorney. In 2016, Goldstein defeated 40-year Democrat machine power broker Dick Mell to become Chicago's 33rd Ward Democratic committeeman, and used his position to place fair judicial evaluations. Blah 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 blah. He's a reformer. He's a progressive.
There's a section down here that says Goldstein's bold progressive agenda.
Okay, here we go. Goldstein's bold progressive agenda is based upon his vision that Illinois must be a state where justice and equal treatment are given under the law, are given. He calls for an end to the racist drug war and mass incarceration. He will reform the criminal justice system to eliminate discrimination and abuse. Really? He will transform this arcane system into one that offers life-affirming opportunities for ex-offenders. They're not criminals and they're not felons. They're ex-offenders. While ensuring the safety and security of the people. He will undertake unique progressive solutions to the spread of gun violence, including, this is what Aaron Goldstein, this is what he's going to do. He's going to take progressive solutions to end the spread of gun violence, including going after gun manufacturers and the NRA, whose sole interest is to sell more guns. So little progressive Democrat Aaron Goldstein has as his goal to go after gun manufacturers and the NRA, because that's how he's going to stop gun violence. Oh, sweet irony. Can you taste it? You can almost taste the sweet irony. You know what? $100 right here on the table. $100 says that Aaron Goldstein, the progressive Democrat scumbag, because Democrats are scumbags, and if you are one, you need to fix yourself and not be a scumbag anymore, that he uses him being robbed at gunpoint as a way to prove that he's right, that this gun violence needs to end, and that because he was robbed by thugs in a Chicago neighborhood, that just proves that he needs to go after gun manufacturers and the NRA even harder. $100 right here on the table. Because people say, well, you know what a Democrat is a person who's never been robbed. No, not anymore. Democrats like this guy are a person who was robbed, who just after this, he'll probably have armed security, or he'll get the local POPO to, the local PD to come out and give him armed security after this. But what do you guys think? You think I'm full of crap, or do you think I'm spot on? Because generally, when it comes to things like this, I am spot on. Oh, karma. Karma visiting itself upon the progressive liberal Democrat attorney general candidate. There you go. And all of you folks in the wonderful People's Republic of Illinois, you can look forward to all of you sportsmen and gun owners, you gun-owning sportsmen in Illinois. You can look forward to a new attorney general who's going to go after those evil gun manufacturers and the evil NRA. There you go. That's the People's Republic of Illinois for you guys. I think that's about all we have to say today. Jared, would you like to say anything else to the kids in the audience before we let them go?
Yeah, thank you guys for listening. Tomorrow is the first bonus hour of the week. If you want to join the grad program so you can get the bonus hours, just go to studentofthegun.com. Actually, I made it really easy for you, and I forgot about this last week, but you can go to SOTG.com.
Get G-E-T or G-I-T?
Really? GETSOTG.com.
GetSOTG.com. There you go. And don't forget to listen to Morning Mindset each and every day. Thanks, guys. Remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.